Good morning. Today's travel coffee is the capital of Portugal, the city of Lisbon. It is a exciting city to visit, very dramatic. When we sailed in as part of our 2018 cruise after the trip to Bordeaux and a stopover in Porto, which I'm not including that in travel mornings, but is worth a visit in its own right if you've never visited Porto. It's the home of the original port industry, port wine industry, and it's centered around the river and the ships or the boats coming downriver from the wine um, regions to the port warehouses that are there along the steep banks. Lisbon has its own steep banks. It's on the river Tagus, and it's really a big estuary with a vast seaport and waterfront. What you see behind me is the Christ the King statue, which is a kind of mini version of the statue in Rio that everyone knows, the Christ the Redeemer, and the 25th of April bridge, which ironically is like a mini Golden Gate bridge across the estuary to the south shore of Lisbon. Lots of things on the waterfront, a lot of monuments. The Tower of Belem, seen on this coffee mug, is a uh, you know ancient structure there. It's not much of a tower compared to some other towers that we've seen around the world, but to Portuguese, when it was built, it was. And they have a monument of the discoveries along the waterfront too, which is a tribute to Portugal's age of exploration and all the explorers that came out of Portugal that traversed the world. Portugal's neighborhoods are quite diverse. Of course, it's changed ownership a few different times. It had a period where the Phoenicians were there, where the Romans were there, where it was part of disputes with Spain and conflict with Spain. And of course, the Moors, it had Muslim rule there for a while as well. Um, there was a historic epic-sized earthquake in the mid 1700s and a resulting tsunami. It's and that destroyed big portions of the city. So depending upon where the geography of this dramatic landscape was in the city, tells us whether that portion survived the earthquake and tsunami. The most preserved piece of the historic city is called the Alfama, and it's more on the eastern edge of Portugal because it was not destroyed by the earthquake and the tsunami. And it's quite neat little neighborhood to visit. We walked parts of the Alfama, but there are parts of the city that have been renewed. The Avenue of Liberty. I don't speak Portuguese, so I can't give you the Portuguese pronunciation of it. Is a big grand boulevard, tree lined with lots of shopping. There's because of the steep banks of the river, there's a vernacular that's a popular thing to do to go up the hill and save your back and your feet. Then, of course, there's a famous pink street. Everyone says they want to walk the pink street. Some of the streets there are tile lined, very similar to Rio de Janeiro. It's a really neat place to visit, and it's quite warm. We were there for 2 days, and one of the days we were there was 114 degrees Fahrenheit. Of course, we were there in July. Six citizens of Lisbon died that day because of extreme heat. They're not used to that extreme heat, but they do get nice breezes normally, just not those 2 days. Of course, you can't go to Portugal without trying the wine or trying their famous pastry, the pasta del nata. It's kind of a custard tart with powdered sugar on it. Well worth it. Portuguese coffee is delicious as well. I would highly recommend a visit to Lisbon, of course, to Porto. Maybe on the same trip might be worth it. They're not that far apart, but they're both coastal cities with a lot of unique heritage and cuisine in their own right. If you ever are going there, let me know. We'd love to talk to you about the city of Lisbon and the country of Portugal. And if you or anyone you know ever has any commercial real estate needs, hit us up. As you can tell, we do and we will travel. Take care.